All right, good morning everyone and welcome to my presentation. We studied the effect of prohexadione-calcium application in Fuji apple trees in South Africa. So the background of the study is that Fuji apple trees have a vigorous vegetative growth tendency, meaning that when vegetative growth is excessive, it could lead to an imbalance in the tree where there is a vigorous unfruitful tree with very large fruit size, or too much flowering can lead to a weak fruitful tree with small fruit sizes. Also, excessive vegetative growth could lead to less color in your fruit, and also a better sunlight distribution can lead to a better color development and consequently an improvement in your fruit quality. There are many strategies currently applied to ensure moderate vegetative growth, such as pruning or limb bending or breaking. However, these strategies are quite labor intensive. So the use of plant growth regulators may decrease your costs on labor and also save time. Prohexadione-calcium is an example of a plant growth regulator that can suppress vegetative shoot growth. It leads to less active gibberellic acids and more inactive gibberellic acids and consequently suppresses shoot growth. However, prohexadione-calcium is currently applied commercially in South Africa. Growers have observed that shoot regrowth occurs after the prohexadione-calcium application. This is when the terminal position of a shoot starts to resume its growth after it has stopped growing after the spring flush. This regrowth can compete with the developing fruitlet, which increases the competition for assimilates. Also, it may lead to a loss of a reproductive bud, which could negatively affect your fruit yield and flower quality. So the aim of this project is to observe the effect of prohexadione-calcium application in Fuji apple trees, respectively to the vegetative growth, the reproductive growth, and the cumulative effect. We conducted the experimental design according to a randomized complete block design, where 10 treatments were treated on 7 blocks. So this is our spraying program, and just to explain it in short, there were 10 treatments, where the first treatment was the untreated control, and 9 treatments where 1 to 5 prohexadione-calcium applications were applied during the first 6 weeks after full bloom. And just to give you a snippet of our results, this graph illustrates the results during our measurement period in the Witzenberg Valley region, which forms part of experiment 2 in the first chapter. In each graph, there is a red line, which represents the untreated control shoots. On your right-hand side, it is the shoot growth rate in centimeters in a bi-weekly basis. And on the left-hand side, it is the shoot length during the measurement period. As you can see, in the first 6 weeks after full bloom, the untreated control shoots grew at a much higher rate compared to the pro-calcium treated trees, meaning that prohexadione-calcium is most effective in the first 6 weeks. We can also see that during the period of 14 to 16 weeks after full bloom, or the February month in the southern hemisphere, we can see that there was an increase in the shoot growth rate, or as we call it, the shoot regrowth, especially in certain treatments of prohexadione-calcium. So to conclude, due to time constraints, I can't show any other results, but the recommended prohexadione-calcium treatment of 70 milligrams per liter at a rate of 1,000 grams per hectare at 80% of the tree row volume at full bloom, where a second 70 milligram per liter application can be applied 4 weeks later, and then a third at 6 weeks after full bloom for both Fuji Kiku and Fuji Akipu apple trees, which were in 2 sites in South Africa. In the Western Cape of South Africa. Also, this treatment suppressed the bi-weekly shoot growth rate and shoot length, as well as increased the fruit yield efficiency when applied as a cumulative treatment over 2 consecutive seasons on Fuji Kiku trees. Interestingly, after 1 season of application, this was not the case. Also, this treatment suppressed the biweekly shoot growth rate and shoot length, as well as minimized shoot regrowth over 1 season and as a cumulative treatment in the Fuji Akifu apple trees in the Witzenberg Valley region. And there was no effect on fruit set, crop load, or return bloom in either site. And future research may evaluate the effect of consecutive prohexadione calcium applications in Fuji apple trees budded to M9 rootstocks. The Fuji apple trees in this experiment was budded to M793 rootstocks, which is quite vigorous and may affect the shoot growth. Thank you very much.